I'm Kristen Perkins. Welcome to Sweden. Sweden, the land of the midnight sun, is a Scandinavian nation with thousands of coastal islands along the vast boreal forest and glaciated mountains. Stockholm is Sweden's capital. The southernmost part of Scandinavia, where the countries of Denmark and Sweden meet, in the Bay of Öresund, you will find one of the most dynamic and expansive regions in Europe. This is a place offering a rare combination of a flourishing business environment and a high quality of life. The population of Sweden is just at 10 million. This is an increase of 0.83% from the year before. Since 1952, Sweden has experienced a population growth of over 3 million. Sweden is the largest Scandinavian country and is similar in size to the state of California. Approximately 85% of the population lives in the southern half of the country, and the most densely populated areas are around the three largest cities, Stockholm, Gothenburg, and Malmö. Lund University is one of the largest and oldest universities in Scandinavia, consistently ranked among the world's top 100 universities. Hampus Jakobsen, co-founder of TAT, discusses the labor force.
Over the times of developing TAT, one of the things we found that was very helpful was that we could find mentors and advisors and board members and recruiting really good people very easy.
The Medicine Village opened its doors to begin the journey of becoming a player on the global life science arena with excellent conditions for the growth and development of local and international companies. The city's vision is to become the best city in the world for sustainable urban development by 2020. Besides having a fantastic infrastructure for international business, southern Sweden offers beautiful countryside and the chance to enjoy a high quality of life. Here, you will benefit from the high standards in housing, universal free education, subsidized healthcare, and low cost of living. Sweden has 4 distinct seasons. In the north, Sweden, the winters are long and cold, and the summers are often sunny with moderate temperatures. In June and July, the sun never sets and daylight lasts 24 hours. Temperatures in the summer are higher in the southern parts, but only occasionally exceed 30 Celsius. In winter, the temperatures often fall below zero all over the country. Sweden is a constitutional monarchy, a democracy where there is a king who is symbolic but holds no political power, and a prime minister who is the leader of the moderate party. Currently, one of the top political issues is the state budget on immigration and pensions. The Swedish people will be voting to either save money from the pensions or immigration budgets. The next Swedish election will be September 9th, 2018, and will occur every 4 years thereafter. Sweden is a member of the UN Anti-Corruption Convention and is a party to the OECD Convention on Combating Bribery of Foreign Public Officials in International Business Transactions, so investors will have an extremely low likelihood of encountering corruption in Sweden. The regulatory environment is highly efficient. The minimum capital required for limited liability companies has been cut in half, making it even easier to establish a company. Labor regulations are among Europe's most rigid.
Sweden is ranked in the top 10 as one of the most competitive countries in the world. So it ranks up there with the United States and China and Japan, as well as other countries. It scored a 1.89 on the Economic Complexity Index scale, which makes it one of the top 5 most complex countries. With this lets us know that it may be difficult for a country to do business in that country based off of the complexity and different moving parts that go along with starting a business, such as an FDI or any type of acquisition or merger. Sweden is a very highly industrialized country, as well as it has one of the lowest national debts. One of the unique things about Sweden is that in that country, out of all the other countries in the EU, Sweden is the only country where every region has a higher gross domestic product per capita than the EU average. In terms of Human Development Index, which consists of a long, healthy life and a quality of standard of living, Sweden is very similar to the United States. In terms of GNI growth, the US has always been higher than Sweden. Although Sweden has had significant increase from the early 90s to the mid 90s, US has still always succumbed to being greater than them when it comes to GNI growth. GNI per capita PP in the United States and Sweden is very similar. So it displays that both countries, the population on average makes about the same type of income. So if you're looking at different products to buy or sell, you could compare both of the countries and they could actually have or use the same type of products. Both the United States and Sweden have very high scores on the Economic Freedom Index, which states that they can promote their own ideas and they need less authority from the government as dealing with somebody who has less freedom and needs more authorization from a government to start up a company or to have relations with home Sweden countries such as IKEA or the big clothing store as in H&M. Sweden is one of the easiest countries in the world to trade with. Its top trading partners are Germany, Norway, and Denmark. It's also ranked as one of the top computer game exporters. When we're talking about exports and its imports, most of the time you'll always see petroleum at the top of the list in both of those categories. In foreign exchange rates, when comparing Sweden and Australia to the US dollar, Australia has a more appreciative value than Sweden.
Socioculture based on Hofstede's dimensions show that Sweden has a lower individualism than compared to the United States. This tells us that the Swedish are more interested in collaborative work and less concerned with how they personally get ahead. Based on Hofstede's dimensions, the Swedish are higher in indulgence than the United States. This tells us that Swedish focus more on quality of life and what makes them happy, versus Americans who may focus more on work and getting that next promotion. I wonder if there is a correlation between Sweden's higher indulgence and increase in life expectancy based on their human index score. Sweden's ranked top in the world in reading, math, and science. They show to have a higher rank than the United States in reading and math, but the United States is higher ranked in science. In Sweden, their expected years of school is also lower than the United States. The top 6 religions in Sweden are Christianity or Catholicism, making 64%, agnostic, which is 20%, atheist, 12%, Muslim, 4%, Buddhist, 0.79%, and the other 0.42% is other. The top 6 languages spoken in Sweden are Swedish, which makes up 97%, English is 54%, German is 19%, French is 7%, Spanish is 5%, and Danish is also 5%.
Sweden's gross expenditures on research and development are leading the United States by 0.5%. Giving Sweden an edge over United States R&D. This provides any investor with a great opportunity to get ahead of the curve in research and development. Patent protections are pretty amazing in Sweden. The total patents that have been granted to date are over 70,000 patents. Technology and research at Swedish universities and companies has resulted in many successful innovations. One of the many fields, such as nanotechnology, is in the process of developing an inexpensive, easily chargeable battery containing no metal. Because of Sweden's team culture, they have joined a venture involving several countries researching the fields of nano, neuro, and information technology. In Stockholm, medical procedures for breast cancer are being developed. It involves a brand new method for treating breast cancer. A cancerous tumor is injected with a high-frequency electric burn. The procedure is done on an outpatient basis and is totally painless. Scientists in Sweden are developing a new technology for textiles. which has been coined smart textiles. Students from all over the world are coming to the Swedish textile industry to lead the field in creating tomorrow's smart textiles. Thanks to an open and international research climate that nurtures innovation, Sweden has become the melting pot of influences, ideas, and experiences, providing the basis to solutions in all areas of life.
Sweden is viewed as an environmentally friendly country by locals. My name is Lisa Yoder, and I'm going to share the impressive rankings Sweden holds according to Yale University's Environmental Performance Index. Sweden's overall rank on the EPI is currently the third best in the world, which is a 1.8% increase over the past 10 years. In comparison, the United States is currently ranked 26th on the EPI. They too have seen an improvement of 3.8% over the past 10 years. With more businesses from across the globe now focusing on environmentally friendly products from manufacturing to distribution, Sweden is the ideal location to support your company's mission and vision. The EPI ranks countries on 9 different environmental indicators. In reviewing the rankings of these indicators over a 10-year span, you can see that Sweden has shown improvement in the majority of them and how they stand up next to the United States. Now, to highlight Sweden's top 3 environmental indicators. According to the EPI, Sweden is ranked number 1 in the world in agriculture, an impressive improvement from a ranking of 59 just 10 years ago. They have increased organic farming in recent years and continue to have dairy farming, livestock, and land farming. Urban farming is one of 7 initiatives Sweden has for sustainability. Sweden is ranked 5th in health impacts and 10th in climate and energy. The U.S. is ranked at 19 and 44 respectively. Sweden has largely eliminated dependence on fossil fuels, and 52% of energy comes from renewables. These actions have resulted in environmental improvements, along with low air and water pollution, and high purity and cleanliness in beautiful Sweden.
Sweden's IPRI overall has been much higher since 2007 than the United States. Sweden's physical property rights and legal and political involvement has been higher than the United States since 2007. In Sweden, intellectual property rights has been lower than the United States except for 2011 and 2012. This means that the Swedish overall have more rights than the United States. However, patents, trademarks, and copyrights are not as protected as they are in the United States.
The SWOT analysis stands for the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We'll go over each of these 4 components. One of Sweden's obvious strengths is that it's a coastal nation. This makes access for trade much easier. Sweden has a highly developed economy, high global competitiveness, and in the Environmental Performance Index, they're ranked number 3. One of Sweden's weaknesses is the fact that there are multiple languages spoken in this country. Even the Swedish dialects can be very different and difficult for people to understand. There are government inefficiencies and 8 different political parties. Improvement could also be seen with the intellectual property rights. Sweden has many opportunities, one being to maintain the GDP growth rate, continue high performance in education, and to continue the technological innovation and continued growth. Sweden's threats include the aging population and the effect this could have on the economy. Likewise, EU changes could affect the strong economy that Sweden currently sees.
To conclude, the Swedish market has shown to be extremely welcoming for all international businesses to enter and would experience considerable growth if they were to proceed with this venture. If you got no place to go when you're feeling down, if you're all alone.